Hey everyone, Retire on Dividends here. Want to talk about KURV. So I think most of you know what KURV is, but if you don't, it's basically sort of a yield max competitor. They do a similar strategy like yield max, except they typically sell calls, a little further out of, they sell calls with a longer expiration date, which is also, yes, further out of the money. So this is their website. And honestly, you can't even find their website. Their website is curvinvest.com. But if you Google KURV ETF, I noticed it doesn't really come up, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, so if you go to their website, you'll see, okay, they have TSLP. If you scroll across, NFLP, MSFY, GOOP, AMZP, and AAPY. So I assume you all know the underlying. But yeah, if we go to their all ETFs, again, I'm just this video is mainly covering their declaration date information, such as their payments. But I just want to go through their website real quick. So if we click one of their ETFs, TSLP, obviously this is Tesla, right? Their yield is very respectable, 25%. This is their strategy, generating monthly cash flow. Okay, great. Blah, 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 right? And then, they have some information per each ETF. Nothing crazy. Inception date. All of the ETFs launched on October 27th, 2023. Their expense ratio is 0.99%, which is in line with yield max. And if we go to the fun fact sheet, which I haven't read it in a while. What does it even say? Yeah, nothing crazy, nothing. Again, basically they make money. They have a synthetic position, just like yield max, and they sell calls. And that's it. The only difference is they go further out. They pick an expiration date. I believe it's a month. It could be more than a month at a time. They don't. If you look here, they don't have a spot for intraday trades. Actually, I just saw this. In connection with the monthly payment of November 27th. All right. Estimated return on capital. 50 cents. Wow. That was news to me. So KURV's November payment, 50 cents of that, or 88%, was return of capital. Wow. So I wonder what December's is. December's just came out, but I don't see a 19A1 notice here. I just see November's. So we'll see if they post that. Keep that in mind. Again, just some other information. I'll get into the holdings. I put that in a separate thing. But if you want to read it real quick, TSLP, you'll see the buy call 215, and then the sell put is in white at 215, and that's the synthetic. The synthetic is at 215. In the middle is the call, which expires January 19th, and it's a 270 call. And then they have treasuries, and cash. Okay? So nothing out of the ordinary. And if we go, obviously their first distribution was in November. Their second was recent, which I'll cover on the spreadsheet. And then they have the lineup going forward, January 23rd, next distribution, for February 20th. I'm just talking about declarations. Obviously, X date is typically after, and then March 19th. So let's look at our handy dandy spreadsheets and see how they did. So if we look at, all of them essentially, right? We have 2, 4, 6. We have 6 funds. Nothing new. They haven't added. These all launched at the same time at inception on October 27th. So the underlyings are Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, Netflix, and Microsoft. So scrolling around to the right, all of which are priced at more towards a 52-week high. And implied volatility for the underlyings, as you can see, Tesla, of course, is the highest, 43%. Next in line is Netflix, 26%. Next in line is Amazon, 24%. And then Google at 22%. Apple is only 16%, Microsoft only 19%. So those, they're not going to yield you as much. Of course, it depends on the calls and how they do. But in reality, if the implied volatility is that much lower than some, you're not going to get as good a yield. But let's go fast forward to the distributions here. So if we look at November for TSLP, they paid 57 cents. December paid 66 cents. However, November, we just saw 50 cents was return of capital. So how much is going to be return of capital for December? I don't know. I wonder if the others were return on capital, but who knows? We could check if you want. All right, so anyway, that was an increase of 15.39% month to month. Now, AAPY was 32 cents the first month and then 24 cents the following month. We know, we're used to disappointment with Apple being the underlying. So Apple going down in December, no surprise. Same thing happened on YieldMax. So that's a decrease of 24%. AMZP, 32 cents in November, and now they're paying 34 cents. At least it's an increase of 8.27%. GOOP, Google, 26 cents in November, 28 cents in December, 8.3% increase. NFLP, 43 cents November, 45 cents in December, 4.8% increase. MSFY, 26 cents November, 23 cents December, which is a 10% decrease. So overall, it was an okay month. A couple other things. Their yield, what are they yielding now? TSLP yields 28%. They're in first place. Second place is NFLP, Netflix, 19%. Third place is AMZP, 15%. Everything else is below 15%, so I'm not sure if it's worth mentioning. How have they held up? Well, if you look at the current price of TSLP, it's $28.34, and their 52-week high was $29.89. So overall, most of these these ETF prices have held up pretty well. And my guess is because when they sell calls 1 month out, they're going a lot further out of the money to take into consideration capital appreciation. And also looking at these yields, they're not trying to yield 50%, 60%, even 40%. They're just trying to get, a respectable yield. Nothing crazy, which tells me they're not really necessarily competing with YieldMax. They're looking for, I guess the less, risk takers, the people who, yes, they want yield, but they can't stomach, what's going on with YieldMax. So maybe this is just an easier way to get into that. Here's the 1 year spark line. Obviously, they're not around 1 year, but for the most part, they're heading upwards. And then I added call strike information, if you see here. So if you look, I can't scroll anymore, sorry. But if you look, I added their current calls, for all of these. They only had one. I did check that. So they all have one. They're using all of their contracts on one call, and all of which actually expired January 19th. The problem is I don't know when these trades were executed, but we're 1 month out now. They could have done it early. I'm assuming they've done it. They did it earlier. I just don't know how much earlier. Because if you look at GOOP, for example, they're already in the money. They have a 140 strike, and they're 0.84% in the money. Even Tesla, 270 strike, they're 7.24% out of the money. But I would expect with a monthly call, they're probably going to go maybe 15 to 20% out of the money. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But yeah, that's what Tesla is, or TSLP. AAPY is 197.50 strike, which that's only 1.73% out of the money. AMZP 155. So that's 1.58% out of the money. NFLP is 520. That's 6.3% out of the money. And MSFY is 7.93% out of the money. So all, well, the Tesla, Netflix, and Microsoft has some room for growth going into, another month or so. The others, not so much. So I'm wondering if they're going to roll them. And if they roll, do they roll these all together? Do they handle them one by one? I have no idea. If any of you have been following these from the beginning, let me know. Again, I assume they're going to do 1 month calls because they're paying us monthly, and they probably want to handle each one, what they make for the month. I don't know. I have no idea. Although if you look at, November's payment for TSLP, it was mostly return on capital. So who was the second biggest payment? If we look, NFLP, 45 cents. So if we go to the website, we go to ETF, and we go to NFLP. We want to go to their documents and see if they have a 19, they do, 19A1 notice. And if you scroll, this is in reference to the November payment, and the return on capital was 36 cents, which is 84% of it. Wow. Okay, that's not a great start. That's surprising. Not going to lie, I did not think that was the case on these. However, I'm not in the trenches with these like I am the other ones. So who is the third biggest payer? If we look, we have AMZP. So let's take a look at AMZP. Scrolling down. Oh, there it is, 19A. In November, how much? 24 cents, 77%. So by the way, I'm just looking at, see, it says estimated return of capital, 20.2492. So estimated net investment income, 7 cents. My guess is they did not do well on their calls, and they did not use their synthetic. Therefore, they had no money from the call premium in order to pay out. So since it was their first month, they didn't want to look so bad, so they had to do a payment which involved return on capital, which is probably, at the yield that they expect to do every month. That's just my guess, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just doing this for fun. But that is my guess. Let me know what you guys think. Should I check one more? Maybe. Who's the last one? Well, no, I didn't do all of them yet, but I checked Netflix. Let's just check Apple. Apple didn't pay that much, but I'm sure they have a 19A. Yeah, they do. November, 26 cents, 79% of the payment. So essentially, it's safe to say most of these are return of capital because they did not do well on their calls. That's obvious. Their synthetic position was probably what they opened when they started, but they could have rolled it to produce some income, I'm assuming, but they did not. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen now, with YieldMax doing weekly calls. If they do bad one week, it's okay. They'll try the next week and next week and next, they have 4 weeks essentially in each month, sometimes 5. But with KURV, if they're doing 1 month out or even more, where are they going to get this premium? Are they going to keep paying return of capital? And are you okay with that? But looking at the stock price appreciation, I think it's essentially unnoticeable. So, I mean, in a sense, okay, we can live with that. It's because we're basically getting our capital gains, right? Essentially, we're getting our own money. And we won't get taxed on it, by the way. That portion of the return on capital, we won't get taxed on. Not tax advice, but that's what they say. So I don't know. It's too early to say. Will I buy KURV? Maybe at some point. I do like that it's a little safer. As far as the yields go, again, these yields are a little low for me. I know it's ridiculous to say that, and I own so much Tesla, it's hard for me to buy TSLP. I own, again, Amazon, Google. Maybe, I don't have Google. I don't know. I have to think about it. We'll see how these go. Maybe they'll open more ETFs, and then I'll get into one of those But they're doing pretty good. Again, the return on capital thing is a little concerning. We'll see what December comes about. We'll see if they post a 19A. If they do, I suppose I could make a video about that. And then, or I'll just do a post. I guess it really doesn't matter. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the KURV funds 2 months out. Are you impressed? Are you not impressed? Is it too early? Do you own KURV? Which ones do you own? Is it better than YieldMax or is it crap? Let me know. I think it's pretty good. Again, I'm not going to judge them. I know I judged FEPI on the first payment. They were 100% return on capital. So, similar. They got to do better, but we'll see. I'll give them another month. We'll see where this goes. So far, nothing posted for December, but I assume it takes a little time if they had to post the 19A. But we'll give them some time. Anyway, I gotta go. Lunch break is over. Just, for context, I'm videoing this on Thursday, December 21st. I'm posting this Friday, December 22nd at 3 p.m. Again, I have to space out my videos. I don't want to upload. Unfortunately, when I'm able to get my videos done, I can get like 2 or 3 at one shot. Because I do it all on my lunch break, or I do it all, when I have the time. And I'm not going to upload all of them at the same time, obviously. So that's why I have to schedule some of these. And I click Premiere so you guys can at least know that they're coming, right? So yeah, you'll see this one. Obviously, if you're watching at this point, it's already out. But that's why this, the prices you'll see that were part of this were, part of yesterday. So anyway, I got to go back to work. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend and so on and so forth. But thank you for watching as always. If you enjoyed it, please click like. Later.